Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Geek Garage podcast. I am David Dassall, your host. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/The Geek Garage Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Geek Garage Pod. You can check us out on Instagram. And also you can rewatch our live stream at youtube.com/2playermedia. Thank you for listening. Damn it, who put the question mark at the end of the teleprompter?
What do you mean we're gonna make new movies? That's fucking stupid. RoboCop 45. We're gonna make 45 of them.
I had nightmares about E.T. when I was younger, and then eventually I took my lightsaber to bed, and then I ended up cutting his dick off with my lightsaber.
Well, there was no dick, but everything else you said is absolutely true.
Charles Bronson drives a car. Charles Bronson shoots bad guy.
bullshit.
Charles Bronson fucks your wife.
Bring, bring.
Yes, hello. Hello and welcome. My name is J.W. Cracker Barrel, owner and operator of Cracker Barrel. Ma'am? Yes. What? What did you say? No. So let me get something straight here. You came into the restaurant yesterday and you ordered the Uncle Herschel special? Right. And they burnt your bacon. Well, lordy, son of a bumbly biscuit. I am so damn sorry about that. Now, who is your server? Who is the server? And what did he do? He didn't order any coffee or nothing. Okay, what was his name? Chris? Give me just 1 second, ma'am. Hold on, just one humble minute. Hold on 1 second. Hey, Chris!
Yeah.
Can you come into the office for a second?
Why, sure, I'd be jolly to.
Now, Chris, did you serve a party of 7 yesterday?
I did. They were lovely.
Okay. Did you not offer coffee?
Well, they didn't want coffee.
Hello, ma'am. You still with me? Chris has decided to leave for voluntary reasons. He will no longer be employed here at the Cracker Barrel. Now, let's get back to making your day better. So, the burnt bacon, I do humbly apologize for the mistake. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I know, and I believe me, I'd be upset. I don't mess around with my bacon now. I know, I'm with you on that. So this is what I'd like to do. I'd like for you and your family to meet me up at the restaurant about, let's go tomorrow, in between 2 and 5 p.m. Does that work? Yes, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. I want you to meet me up there on the front porch. No, I'm not doing a gift card. We don't do gift cards at this location. No, ma'am, but hold on. I've got something that's going to make you so happy and all 7 of your family. You meet me in between 2 and 5 up there by the rocking chairs and the checkerboard. Yeah, that's right. Yes, that old raggedy quilt that's on top of that's right, that old raggedy. You know that we don't even provide that. That's not even ours. That checkerboard was actually, someone left it there. And the son of a bitch forgot like 3 of the pieces. He didn't bring the two red ones and 1 black one are missing. You can't even king yourself. I know, it's dumb. Anyway, I'd like for you to meet me up there by the rocking chairs and the checkerboard, all 7 of your family, and I'll even throw something else in with you. I'm gonna bring with me one of them little balls with the raccoon that has no legs that's attached to it. You know that? Yes, ma'am. We are the only place on planet Earth that still has one of those. That's right. I'll even include 1 audiobook written. It's the entirety of Lord of the Rings read by the country western band Alabama. Yes, they're still alive. They are still alive. So those things right there, and then I want you guys to meet me there by the rocking chairs, and then just one by one take turns fucking my ass. That's right. Just you and your whole family take the little raccoon ball and stick it in my ass, and y'all can just fuck my ass, okay? Okay, thank you very much. All right, you have a wonderful day. Come fuck my ass.
And that's how you make a guest happy. When they fuck up your bacon.
At the Cracker Barrel.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you intro your very first episode.
Again.
Again.
The first tape was better. Kill
So,
yourself.
for everyone listening, this is actually the second time we are recording this POS. Fortunately, we didn't get very far into it. We're actually live streaming this on Facebook right now. And
Hello,
one of
Facebook.
our dear
Hello,
listeners
Facebook.
/ watchers figure out what it was, and now we're back, and I believe the audio is...
We're back in force and ready to discuss.
Right. So, yeah, we'll get down to the nitty-gritty.
The brass tacks.
The brass tacks.
Oh, God.
David, you want to reintroduce everyone all over
I
again?
will reintroduce for those who are not aware of who we are and what we do, which should be everyone because no one knows who I am.
I don't.
I mean, I kind of wandered into your fucking apartment.
He showed up with a bunch of microphones. He says, "Hey, can I make a thing with you?" I said, "Sure, kind stranger, come on in."
Except he did it with a gun.
Yeah, no, I'm being held against my will within my own apartment.
That's not true.
It's really easy for men to make friends with each other.
I don't know what the silence was for, but that was great.
It was pretty great.
I'm actually rethinking this whole thing.
Why don't you
right
just
now.
tell people what her names is?
All right. Well,
Since we're all men in this room.
right, I guess that part's getting cut out. So to my left, not like direction matters because this is audio. Is fucking Connor Miller. He's not.
Like,
actually
who's fucking me?
No. It's actually just Connor Miller.
It is.
And he is just a delight. Just fantastic.
His blood type is O negative, and his social security number is...
Are you really a universal donor?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't checked in a long time. I don't bleed.
Well, your blood type does not change.
Let's kill him and take his blood.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it's correct. I don't know my blood type, if that makes sense.
Okay, well,
Can we
you're
sell it?
doing great.
We can sell his blood.
Okay, and to my right, my other co-host is Andrew Nolenberg. He is also a fantastic tall drink of water.
Hello.
And I am super lucky to have both of these fellows with me. This whole thing would not be possible without them.
Can we just mention the fact that I'm the taller drink of water because I'm taller? That makes me better.
That's
than
irrelevant.
Him. That makes me better than
That's
him.
irrelevant because this is audio. So fuck your mother, okay?
But I am a freshly filtered spring water drink. I'm just trying to
Are
make
you
myself.
ionized?
I'm activated water.
Yeah.
And I was
Like alkaline
it's
water?
activated free range water. It was happy before it was water.
Man,
Like
that's
fresh
fine.
farm to table, F to T.
It's farm to table water.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it because I'm glacial?
Is your water glacial?
Glacial.
You know what? I don't even want glacial water in here because you wrecked the Titanic.
Good.
Anyway, Dave, what the fuck are we talking about today?
All right. So for our very first episode, we are going to talk about originals in cinema.
Movies.
What's a movie?
Movie. It's them moving pictures. It's the thing where you stare at the screen and then the screen moves and then it talks back to you.
That sounds like the devil's work.
It is the devil's work.
But you mean to tell me that movies, the moving pictures, how long is they now? Because back what I remember, they weren't more than 14 to 15 seconds long. And it took about 15 guys and the souls of 3 chupacabras in order to make one.
What you tell us about your greatest hits back then, old-timey director, man?
We had exciting films like That There's an Eskimo, or This Train is Going By, and This is a Forest.
This is a forest. There was a sequel that was in production, and sadly, they all died from diphtheria.
Entire crew died.
Yeah, they were hit by a train that was coming by.
They were.
Did they die of dysentery?
They died of Oregon Trail.
Just the whole trail just wrecked them.
They were hit by a full Windows 95 disc copy of Oregon Trail by Mech.
Killed instantly on impact. It was real sad.
That would be
Real sad. They never got to ford the river or even attempt to do it.
Or even try Storybook Weaver.
Or Math Blaster.
or in Encarta.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing we could talk about.
You get your Mavis Bacon learn how to type shit out of here.
we've completely derailed the conversation.
Let's talk about some fucking movies, Dave.
So-
Bring us back home.
Like I said, we're here to talk about originals in cinema, and how they don't really exist anymore.
Well, they do. They're just made by college students.
This is true. If you take a good hard look at the movies that have come out recently, just
Scorpion
take
King 2, Rise of a Warrior.
specifically on Blu-ray.
It's one of my favorites. Let's break right into, so we'll name some of our favorite, give some examples of what we feel is a original film, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll get into basically like, hey, this is a big load of bullshit. Like, Connor, what's your favorite 1998 hit?
What are you talking about? Godzilla with Matthew Broderick?
That's the only Godzilla that's worth watching,
That's
isn't
the
it?
only one there is, I thought.
Yeah, that would be a not original film. It'd be an original piece of diarrhea garbage, but yeah, that's about all it's worth on that. But Dave, why don't you run down the list? What's an original movie? What the hell is that?
There's actually not a whole lot of articles or blog posts or anything out there discussing the topic of how originals are, they've become harder to come by. So most of what you'll hear in this podcast or in this episode will be just our own dumb thoughts on the matter. But I did
Opinions. Don't knock us down a peck. We want our listeners to believe that we're almighty, all-knowing gods.
Everything I say is real.
Yeah, it is, especially in that voice.
Do you have any crumpets I can dine on?
And he's sexy like a hot drink.
Anyways, so I'm gonna go.
On Midsummer's Night.
So I did some.
Tell us about films, David.
I'm gonna name off some original classics on that I found that pretty much we should all be familiar with. And if you haven't seen them, then you should be strangled in front of your children.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Yes, exactly. So I got Casablanca,
Yeah.
Citizen Kane, Vertigo, a little film. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called Star Wars: A New Hope. It came out in 1977.
I'm very unfamiliar and would
I don't
never
like
wear a
things
hat
that
that
are old
has
and
things
bullshit.
from that movie on my head currently.
Right. I mean that doesn't even sound like something you'd be interested in.
No.
Hey, what are you doing with this Nazi pillow?
I see, and that pillow and the other one, I found these at
You got a
a
refrigerator
garage
pillow,
sale.
too.
Is this a Star Wars?
That's
Yeah.
no, that's Iron Man.
Sleep with this in between my
That's
nuts.
actually the arc reactor. It's close though. It's close.
To me, it looks like a
That's what you get for.
fucking cookie.
Okay.
What kind of fucking cookies are you making?
The one that has a delicious chocolatey center in the middle, man.
All right,
Ain't you
well.
ever eaten a reverse Oreo?
All right.
My jokes are funny.
Yeah, they are. You're doing
Star
great.
Wars is a movie.
All right. So, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Love it.
Taxi Driver, King Kong, Singing in the Rain. Probably in my top 3 musicals.
Sing in the Rain? Yeah.
Wait. Was King Kong a book before it was?
It was
a movie?
not.
Really?
I did some pretty hardcore research. It had to be upwards of 3 minutes. That I
That's pretty hardcore.
yeah.
That's the
I
most
tell you,
attention
I
that
swear to God, it was no.
anyone's given into anything.
I got it from Wikipedia, so it can't be wrong.
That's longer than Andrew's happy bathroom time.
What is?
I'm real
Oh,
talented.
3 minutes. Okay.
I know me.
No, so if you're listening to this and you want to prove me wrong that King Kong was a book first, I mean King Kong came out a long fucking time ago. So
They weren't even writing books then.
right.
I
I
didn't
mean
know what paper was.
books definitely came after movies.
Right.
That's a fact. That
Everything-
also came from Wikipedia.
Everything else was just hammered into a piece of stone.
Right.
Yeah.
Naturally.
If you don't have that copy of Harry Potter, then you're not an actual fan.
You obviously haven't read the book.
You obviously you haven't read the stone tablet.
Was that like
Oh, that's
that
like
was
uber
like-
hipster.
That was like nerdy
1200
Donald
AD
Trump.
nerd?
Was that almost Donald Trump Day?
That was like
Wrong.
nerdy Donald Trump.
Wrong. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have a great podcast. It's gonna be the greatest podcast of all time. It's gonna be great. We're gonna talk about a lot of things. A lot of things I have no idea what I'm talking about. Proceed.
I have Andrew's favorite film of all time, a classic from his childhood, E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Shut your fucking mouth. You don't talk about Satan.
If
E.T. is not a children's
know, if you don't know Andrew very well,
He's
actually it's like
terrified.
one of the first 3 things that he tells you when you first meet him. It's
Hi,
like
I have brown hair.
My
like
name's
Star Wars and
Andrew.
I'm horrified
1,
at E.T.
I'm from Chicago. 2, 3. I had nightmares about E.T. when I was younger, and then eventually I took my lightsaber to bed, and then I ended up cutting his dick off with my lightsaber.
Well, there was no dick, but everything else you said is absolutely true.
Okay, well, I definitely made up the dick part, but
Right, you made that up.
yeah, okay. Well, that's funny to us. I don't know if that's going to be funny to you, but, you know. Fantasia, the fantastic
shit.
Trip Your Balls Off movie. I need to watch that again.
That is a visual piece of Tchaikovsky's masterwork. It's a wonderful piece of cinema and audio pleasure for you to enjoy.
Also,
I love
Easy
these.
Rider. Have you guys seen Easy Rider? With
Is there motorcycles in that?
yes,
He goes to a commune, right? Right. Right.
I
There-
have not
there's,
seen the film, so you have to help me.
I believe that is part of it. It's been a while since I saw it.
It's a real hippie movie. He's riding.
Yeah,
on a
it was,
motorcycle and does
I
a-
saw it in it was my first year of college, which was like back in 2004, so a long ass time ago. No, it has Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper, and it was, I believe, the very first movie that Jack Nicholson was in. Like straight
feel
up,
like I've
his
seen it.
first cinematic appearance. Spoiler alert: he dies, and everyone dies. So.
Moving on.
Anyways, so that's what I have for classics.
Yeah, got some good ones on there.
I mean, was there anything that you guys thought of that I might have missed? I mean, obviously, this is not a comprehensive list of classics.
No,
So
you
please-
just named every single movie.
Every
that's
movie
ever...
that was an original idea. Everything after that is a copycat.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah. No.
Obviously, the Harry Potter movies weren't based off of anything.
Right, nothing. But yeah, do you guys, I mean, any classics that I missed that you guys would care to share with the class?
You've got
We talked about it earlier. How Alien is one that's like
Alien.
sci-fi horror.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of sucks the originality out of that genre for anybody else. Although, I mean, if you really think about it, like there were so many sci-fi horror movies.
Can we
before that, but
like
nothing
continue
that does
Can we
what that
continue to
does.
talk about Alien for a second, because
Yeah.
that movie
Absolutely.
that movie, we were talking about it earlier, that movie is unbelievable, not just because like, oh wow, it's really scary, like at that time that was the scariest movie anybody had ever seen,
It's still horrifying.
and I think it keeps up in today's
Absolutely.
world.
Well, it's one big thing, and that's another thing in horror movies that I always appreciate is either the lack of sound and a music, a score. All you hear for like the first good bit of your time on the Nostromo before you even meet any characters are just still shots of the interior of the spaceship, the hum, and the noises that the machines are making.
Super
Right.
ominous
Yeah.
setting.
Like it's almost calming. It's so eerie. It's almost calming to a certain point. Anyway, but I could fucking masturbate about fucking Alien all day. The point is
That's
it's,
erotic.
Its whole premise, everything that Alien is about is an original concept. There's nothing else up until that point that did what Alien did. The story, everything is unique.
I just thought of something, soft disagreement. Alien was definitely
Okay, what?
Jaws. Okay?
Jaws?
Jaws
Okay.
prior to Alien. Okay? Jaws
If
had
you want to
the...
get technical,
But there's no claustrophobia
Jaws
in
was based
Jaws.
on a book.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Ah, damn it.
There's-
I wanted to put down Jaws like a motherfucker because I'm terrified of the ocean. My wife is probably laughing if she decides to listen to this
Yeah.
because I hate the ocean and sharks are only one of the reasons.
So getting you sea salt coconut scented candles would make you vomit.
No, I have no problem with the ocean. It's when people want me to go in the ocean.
That's where the things that kill me live.
Yes.
Let me clarify
Fish
with
don't
Alien.
grow fucking legs and come on the beach and the land and like slice my throat open in front of my kids. So I decide to not reciprocate, and
But you can at least build a sandcastle.
I will build a sandcastle.
Anyway, to clarify with Aliens, there are plenty of films that did what Alien did, in the sense of being, okay, you're stuck on a spaceship and there's a monster on board.
Well, nobody had done the spaceship thing in the way that they did, though.
Well, take a movie like Green Slime. Basically the concept of that movie is the blob in space, and they're all
What is
stuck
Green
on a...
Slime?
It is a movie I watched in my childhood many times.
Is it? How old is it?
It's pretty fucking old.
I mean,
It's
with
50s,
the
60s.
title like Green Slime, it sounds like
Yeah, they're trapped on a spaceship. The monster, the alien, is this slime, and it gets on stuff and like eats through their spacesuits and stuff like that. But you could take that concept and throw it straight to the blood and the alien being acidic and tearing through stuff.
Right.
But the whole concept of how Alien was put together, the use of materials and artists and everything, using H.R. Giger's work as inspiration, and
The artist, right?
to throw everything together in that movie and kind of bring you an atmosphere that is claustrophobic in wide open spaces. It's something that hadn't really been done, and I think going forward on an original idea like that, nothing is fucking original anymore. Let's draw that line right now. Nothing is original. Everybody's already done something that takes inspiration from something else.
Sure.
But you can take all of this inspiration and come up with something new with it, right? You can have this new film that provides a different twist on maybe an old fan favorite of stuff. The problem that we have is fucking remakes and reboots and all
Make
this bullshit.
money. They make money.
What do you mean we're gonna make new movies? That's fucking stupid. RoboCop 45. We're gonna make 45 of them.
But sir, that's not even in budget. I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
Eventually, you'll have. We did Jurassic World. We did Jurassic Country. We did Jurassic Bus.
It's time for Jurassic Universe. Dinosaurs in space.
what would Jurassic Bus be?
Oh,
You don't even want to know.
the Raptors drive the bus,
It's that movie Speed.
and they bring back Jeff Goldblum.
No.
It's Speed. There you go. It's
with
Speed.
Keanu Reeves. And if the Raptors drive too fast or too slow, the bus explodes. That's all it is. It's just.
And raptors aren't very good drivers because there's confused, reanimated fucking ancient animals that shouldn't be here.
Oh my god.
So it's like,
they don't know how to drive.
and the climax of that film is he actually has a kung fu fight with one of the raptors that they did a little bit too much experimenting on. The bus driver raptor, like eventually they disarm the bomb, right, and they think everything's fine. Well, what happens is that raptor gets off the bus and throws down his little bus cap that he was wearing to drive, and he points at Keanu Reeves and he goes, and Keanu Reeves goes, whoa. And then they have a kung fu fight. And then the movie actually cuts in between that because they ran out of money.
Wow.
That wasn't funny.
Which is why originals are not making any money.
It's a goddamn shame.
Anyway.
Yeah, because of that idea alone. No, basically the fucking deal here is we have terrible shit. Like, let me just go through this little mini list.
Please, you've compiled a fantastic list of all the reboots and remakes and sequels that we can expect to see.
Not the terrifying things to not look forward to, but just a short list of bad remakes that are not original intellectual properties, like Godzilla 1998 with Matthew Broderick,
Delicious.
or The Invasion 2007 with Nicole Kidman. After that's like the fucking 18th Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake. Poltergeist from 2015.
Oh boy.
RoboCop 2014. Total Recall 2012.
That movie was a garbage
my
factory.
God. Red Dawn 2012. Why? Like, why go back? It's like, hey, this movie was good.
Is that the one where instead of
Yeah,
Russia,
it
the
was
North
pretty
Koreans
good.
take over North Dakota or some
Fucking-
bullshit?
I watched like 10 minutes of it and stopped.
I don't think I've seen any of these.
Red Dawn, the original, was the 80s, right? The Soviets take over a town,
Yeah.
okay, so this was like, let's put it in the current times, and it's the North Koreans, and they get a town, and you gotta stop them with Chris Hemsworth, and it sucks.
Well, it's just it's the let's take a thing that people like or something that was groundbreaking and let's just do it again and replace it.
It's like, no, you can't just go into cinema like that and replace things that were already there. It doesn't work that way. Now, have there been successful reboots of things? Absolutely. Have there been successful adaptations and continuations of series? Absolutely. I wouldn't say that the newest Star Wars movies are like, oh my God, it's the same thing. But it's, you know, it's fresh, it's entertaining, it's something to fucking watch, and you like Star Wars, so yeah, I'll go fucking watch a Star Wars movie. Cool, that's fine. But I don't go into a Star Wars movie with the sense of like, this is gonna be completely new and original.
Right.
Oh my God.
I'm totally not
I've
gonna
never heard of Darth Vader. Like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
But just to scare you guys,
What's this segment called, Connor?
This is upcoming remakes to make you shit your pants.
Is that the official title?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So these are things to not look forward to. Starship Troopers.
They're
remake.
remaking Starship Troopers.
I didn't even like the first one.
You shut your mouth.
It's
It's
not a
was-
good movie.
What was so great about
No,
it?
It's not a good
nothing.
movie.
Like the
It's
only,
a cult
The only
classic.
thing that I really remember about it is like the co-ed shower scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to see boobs.
Boobs and they shoot
And
giant bugs.
There was a lot of gore. There was giant bugs. That's all you fucking should care about.
So why are we doing it again? It was bad the first time. Why are we doing it again?
Because they want to make it good. I don't know, man. That's like fucking. I don't know. It's
Continue.
Ace Ventura.
What?
Is he going to do it again, though?
No,
It's someone else?
they're rebooting.
Without Jim Carrey?
Yes, they're making a new Ace Ventura.
Okay.
An American
Travesty.
Werewolf in London. You know that horror werewolf fucking classic movie by John Landis that they're just going to take a big shit on. As I mentioned this to you guys earlier, Big Man Japan. I don't think either of you have seen it.
Never heard of that.
That's a movie that was on Netflix probably about 8-10 years ago. It's this weird digitally animated kaiju type movie where this guy just gets really big and fights monsters, right? It's like, it was okay. So they're just gonna make it again? I don't know. It doesn't.
And it's
doesn't
called
fucking make
Big
sense.
Man Japan?
Big Man Japan.
That just sounds like a really simple title, man.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, what's your movie about, sir? Well,
It's a big man in Japan.
he is a tall,
Have I told you the title?
he's a tall Japanese feller, and
He's
and
in Japan.
He is in Japan,
And that's it.
and he is gonna do some fighting with some tall monsters. So
Sure is.
he needs to be tall
He needs to be big.
and big,
Building big.
and he's a
size guy.
man. So we're gonna go with it. Check it out. Check it out. Big Man Japan.
Oh my god, it's fucking brilliant. We're gonna come money. Anyway, they're remaking John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay, now that's why.
I don't.
That sucks.
Alfred Hitchcock's The Bird.
They're redoing the birds.
They're redoing The Bird.
So they're going to take a very, 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 very famous
successful,
successful
brilliant film, and
just let's do it again.
with a bunch of CG birds.
Awesome.
What?
Blade?
Okay. I'm on the fence on that one. Number one, Blade isn't a original. It's a comic book
Yeah,
movie.
but nonetheless, you're taking.
Is it Wesley Snipes though?
No,
Damn it.
dude. That's what I'm saying. Is you're not getting the original people for this. Bloodsport. Jean-Claude Van Damme's Bloodsport. They're remaking Bloodsport.
Can we talk for a second about how, like, I just thought of this, like, reboots? Wouldn't it only make sense to, like, reboot the terrible movies to do them better?
So maybe take a okay, so
Like,
here.
'cause, I mean-
take Starship Troopers for instance. Like, it's not a good movie, but what if they could make it awesome?
Yeah, like, I mean, movies
Yeah,
that were
but-
kind of, like, ahead of their time as far as maybe the idea, but they didn't have the technology for the special effects and everything.
Here's the thing: you can roll a turd in glitter as much as you want. It's still gonna be a turd.
Okay, example.
Poop and glitter. Like, like a bad idea is a bad idea, no matter how many ways you fucking bake it and throw it in someone's mouth. That's a bad fucking idea.
Bake it and throw it in somene's mouth.
Seriously,
I'm
like,
sorry. I
it's
just
a
got
lovely
glittery turds on a cookie sheet right now.
No, it's I mean Starship Troopers, like, the concept works fine in books. Like, and leave it there. Like, there are certain things that we tried it. It didn't work out. Let's not do it again.
Have you guys seen the trailer for Tom Cruise's version of The Mummy?
I did.
Okay, so I'm personally not excited for it, and the reason is there was, to me, I really enjoyed the original. There's two original mummies. Let's just say
Like Universal The Mummy.
it's a Universal picture anyway. They own the property,
I know,
so
but,
Universal's The Mummy,
Universal's The
Boris
Mummy.
Karloff. That one,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a classic. Obviously, like one of the original big time horror movie things with the Mummy and Dracula and all that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's part of that crew. But then you've got the Brendan Fraser version, which was a fun movie. That movie was all right. And then even the second one with the horrible CGI Scorpion King, The Rock in it. But that movie was okay too. Now, granted,
So
they
you're
ended.
afraid that they might take it a little too seriously?
I'm getting at like what I enjoyed about David. What I enjoyed about The Mummy and The Mummy 2, the Scorpion King one, which was kind of crazy.
They were kind of lighthearted.
They were lighthearted. It was a fun adventure. I wouldn't go so far to say it's like Indiana Jones, but it's in the same
see,
ballpark
you got
of
that
like that.
vibey, yeah.
It was fun and everybody did a good job.
It's a popcorn flick.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas, I mean, fuck, they made a theme park right about it, like at Universal.
I mean, it's
That's,
you
know.
don't look at that movie and you objectively fucking point out
Then-
everything that's wrong with it. You just ignore it. And fucking
I'm
enjoy
not
it.
saying it's
Yeah.
one of those untouchable films. Like if you ever remake that, you're Satan. Like for instance, you don't go and remake The Godfather. You don't go and remake Casablanca. You don't go
Somebody's
and
gonna do it.
Well, I'm just saying. But so like that film to get and it wasn't all that long ago that movie was made.
Just wait until I get further down this list.
And so The Mummy coming out again, as like, why?
Dude, because fucking money, cash. So let me go back to this list to just kind of break your spirits a little bit more. Now keep in mind, a lot of what I'm reading off of this list are things that are either 90s or even more recent, like later, first decade 2000s. So I mentioned Bloodsport, Jean-Claude Van Damme's Bloodsport, which why would you remake that movie? It's just it's glorious martial arts, garbage. It's fantastic for what it is. Like it's like, okay, you don't watch that movie because the story's good and everything's compelling. You watch that movie because you want to watch Jean-Claude Van Damme kick the shit out of some dude's face.
Right.
Like that's why you watch that movie. So why remake it if you're not going to have Jean-Claude Van Damme? Who right now is iconic enough to be like, man, B-movie martial arts star? Who would we use? Name one fucking guy.
Well, the obvious choice is Ashley Tisdale from the High School Musical films.
I mean, obviously.
Could you?
Zac Efron's left testicle.
She'd get out there and kick ass with Zac Efron's left testicle.
I wonder if Zac Efron has his testicles insured.
Zac Efron
you know how like
is a
rich people
robot.
like they run out of things to do, so they like insure like weird things. Like I mean, this is the thing, right? Like I'm not like imagining.
I've never reached that level of income,
Hand models insure their hands.
but like I know Nicolas Cage tried to put himself in almost financial ruin by buying a bunch of weird shit that is like
what?
financial. There is, just look it up. Like it's one of those cracked articles.
It's just 1,000.
Nicolas
pictures of
Cage,
schooners.
like he sued. I think the story was he sued his accountant or whoever helps him make financial decisions. Like, and this is the guy that told him you probably shouldn't buy that crocodile. Like it wasn't that level of insanity, but it was something pretty
4,000
fucking
hand crocheted
stupid.
pictures of a llama, like some random
Yeah,
bullshit
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I'm gonna buy.
A, B, C, D, E,
I want to
F, G,
buy.
H, I.
Hold on. I'm going to buy a country. Like, Nicholas, you don't have that much money. Yes, I do.
And anyway,
We have to find the Declaration of Independence.
let me bring you back to this. The Craft. Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be the fucking third season of American Horror Story, the movie. The Crow. That's right. A cult classic like The Crow. They're going to
that one
completely-
I mean, I've been. I keep
Do you
up on
want a
the
remake?
news. I keep up with the news on that, and it actually has a pretty split. Like I don't even know where I stand.
I just kind of think it's insulting considering that Brandon Lee
it does
died
kind of
in the
have
filming of it.
it does kind of have that feel to it. If they, I don't know if it's official that they got Jason Momoa to be Draven. Is it? I don't know if it's official. I know he was in talks to play Draven. I feel like that would soften the blow. I don't really have much of a history with it, so if they were to reboot it or remake it or whatever, it wouldn't really strike the chord that it does with the people that grew up with it. But I can definitely understand when in an instance like that where it's a movie that you grew up with and it was, you know, kind of a staple, and and it's
I mean, it is the quintessential like gothic city fantasy.
it's
kind of
fantastic.
movie, yeah.
Like, I mean, it like
it's a superhero movie.
It
in
really
essence.
holds
Like,
up.
It was a comic. Like,
yeah.
I'll get over The Crow if they remake it. I just won't fucking watch it. I'll probably watch
Yeah,
it. I don't
there
know.
you go.
I'm a piece of shit. Anyway,
I'm so proud of you. I love
The
your
Cube.
Face.
Do you guys remember The Cube?
The Cube.
Is that that horror movie
It's a
where
sci-fi
they're stuck
horror
in they're
movie.
stuck in the
They're
cube thing?
stuck in
Yeah.
this.
You ever seen
is
that, Dave?
kind of like the Dome?
No.
Okay.
It's a cube that
Pretty
has
gross,
this-
actually.
When did
this
the first one
algorithm.
come out?
God,
Or the original?
2000, I believe. Quote
Isn't
me-
that a
don't quote
little
me on that.
soon to remake?
Well, that's what we're about to get into
or
here,
is
guys.
it a reboot or is it a sequel?
It's a reboot. They're just gonna redo it.
This
Okay.
I feel like there should be a certain period of time that goes on before you're able to reboot something.
Well, this is the metaphorical, I guess, statutory rape of films. So, because we have lots of movies from the late 90s and early 2000s that they're already talking about rebooting, or in the process of doing so.
So you just listed off a whole bunch of reboots, remakes, things of that nature, and we've been kind of hammering hard on the whole concept of like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? So bring it forward. A point that I'd like to make is there are original films that come out every single year that are not based from this or based from this or based from this.
When
When
this comes out, I will post a link to a excellent article I found. It was like 61 movies that came out in 2016 that were originals, and that's actually an impressive number. I didn't realize, and that's like spanning all genres.
and you will read that list. An average everyday Joe will read that list and go, oh, I didn't even hear about that movie.
know this movie
And there's a
existed,
reason for that. So think about when Oscar time comes around, Academy Awards are coming on, and I honestly watch it every single time, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at all of the nominees for Best Picture.
Like, who the
I
fuck is
might
this
know,
person?
I might be aware of 2 of those movies.
Yeah.
And what I like to do is after I find out what they are, I'll go and rent and watch every single one of them because I like that. And then I'm going, wow, these movies are amazing. And you think about, but like, what made the most money that year? And it was Transformers 74. Optimus Prime marries a duck. Like
those
it's-
Oscar movies, they never make
they
the
don't
money
gross
that,
like that, but those are the films
It's 'cause-
that
it's
make
'cause-
such an impact. You're like, wow, let this like Birdman, for instance.
Yeah.
Oh my
that
God.
movie is just unfucking
It's the tits.
believable. But did it make as much money as Jurassic
No,
World?
well,
Of course not.
You're also talking about the consumption of media and who things are directed towards.
Right.
And that's where the problem truly lies. Is you have everybody. I mean, South Park said it best with the member berries. Like, it's like, remember Star Wars, remember, like that whole thing. It's like, yeah, fucking let's just suck the shit out of everybody's dick who fucking liked something at one point in time. And we'll just do it again because they'll pay to see it in the box office where the money fucking rolls in.
What I'm building towards on that point is that go take what I just talked about, Oscar time, and how great those Best Picture films are. Now go back 30 or 40 years, okay? And those movies I just talked about, that let's just say it's that type of movie or whatever movies were up for Best Picture during the Oscar season, those were the movies that were making all the money at the time. Those were the big films, and that's what people wanted to see. People went, let's go, I mean, I'll just use one of my favorite
But
movies
Andrew,
for an instance.
don't you know that new ideas are dangerous?
Right. 1973, The Godfather. People went, that was a best-selling novel, and it was an unbelievable, it won Best Picture, one of the greatest films ever made.
Right.
And people saw the shit out of that film at that time. Now, you flash forward to now, grab random Joe Schmo dumbass off the street and ask them, hey, what do you think is a good movie, or what's your favorite movie? It's like, man, let me tell you, I love the fuck out of Cars 2. It's like, why? And again, I'm not trying to knock anybody for what they enjoy, but all the movie industry is doing, the reason why we're even having this discussion right now, is they are reacting to what supply and demand does. They will make why do you think Michael Bay still has a job? We can sit here and bitch and moan about Michael Bay all day long. All his movies are explosions and bullshit.
There's another very important reason.
He wouldn't keep making them if they weren't making a lot of fucking money.
There's another very important reason why those types of movies gross the kind of money that they do, though. And that's because of our media consumption and how available it is to all of us and who it's going to be directed towards. Sure. You have to think about all the parents that buy their little kiddies tablets for Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime movies and all of that stuff. And you got to think about who's watching movies now. Okay?
Okay.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody is in the dark anymore. You didn't used to go to the movies and see kids' films. In the movies. Think about it. Think about your childhood.
That's something I never really thought about.
Think about your childhood. Now, I remember at one point in time going and seeing something like fucking Balto or some shit in the movie theater.
Like, I think I saw Babe in the movie theater.
Yeah, like they were there, but they weren't the overarching thing. You take something like that and you take it and you're like, oh, holy shit, it's this whole marketing industry. And in the 90s were the real growth of that. And then after that, holy shit, everything became
Disney movies, Disney animated features.
Disney movies, DreamWorks, all these animated movies. The availability of media has exploded. Think about trying to find one fucking song in your iTunes that is not under album or artist.
I know that's a problem for you, Dave. You got a lot of music.
Yeah, no, last I fucking checked, I had like fucking 80-90 gigabytes worth of music, and I'm like, oh god, do I even know this artist? Did I like this at one point? What is this? And it's, you have all this fucking shit everywhere, and it's like trying to narrow down. It's like, what is the finest piece of art in this? And it's like you can't look at movies as something that isn't something everybody can do now, because everybody has an iPhone in their pocket that can shoot video quality better than what we had 10 years ago. And everybody wants to make a movie. Everybody's going to make a movie. Everybody's not going to see the movie. And there are probably hundreds of thousands of gems out there that nobody has ever seen. Wonderful things that college students have made, or big blockbuster movies that never made it to final print to go to theaters, that we haven't seen, that were original concepts.
You can probably find a lot of those good original concepts. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the authority on this, but think about the Cannes Film Festival, you know, or any of those types of things that exist. I mean, that's where you're going to find that rich content, that stuff like that. And not to, I mean, again, the three of us sitting in this room right now, we've all gone and seen every single.
Guys, Miramax is dead. We don't have.
We've all gone and seen every single comic book blow up explosion type movie and have walked out of there enjoying every single one of them.
Yeah.
And
MCU's got some pretty fucking good movies, though.
I'm not saying they're not good. What I'm getting at is that I'm bringing it back to this if we're calling it a problem, or just this situation exists. It's what makes money now. The movie industry is no longer, as a whole.
Oh, we're totally guilty too.
It is no longer, hey, let's push, let's advertise, let's show off art. Let's push the coolest, most groundbreaking, neat films. No, because you're going to have some people that goes directly over their head, but everybody loves watching the Death Star blow the fuck up.
Everybody's a critic now too, though. Everybody with a smartphone is a critic. And you have I don't know, the evolution of how movies have become what they are now is actually kind of interesting to look at. I guess even psychologically, like how people react to things. More people are willing to shit on something just because they can now. And I guess, you know, that brings full circle to, like, new ideas are dangerous. If this isn't something that everybody's used to and everybody wants
you get
to
attacked
see,
immediately.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you don't think outside the box, because if you do, no.
What was the name of that movie that... Was it Jupiter Ascending or something like that? There was Mila Kunis and
Channing Tatum.
And Channing Tatum. Okay, so like I saw the trailer when I remember seeing the trailer for that. I'm going, oh, that's different.
neat.
And that's I've never heard of that. Bombed. tanked.
Totally.
And what was most of the criticism, if you look at Rotten Tomatoes comments or things like that, it's just trying to be Star Wars or The Fifth Element or something like that.
Right.
Like nobody embraced it as a different thing. Now, granted, was the movie good? I don't know. I mean, I didn't see it. Like, again,
I rented it.
okay, so
I think I
was it any good? Like,
opinions?
was it any good?
I couldn't finish it.
Wow. So it just
okay,
wasn't
so it
good.
It
Bad.
was. I mean, obviously, you're not gonna see it and be like terrific acting, but it was boring for the most part. Like I couldn't focus on it. So
Do we live in a world where something like that now? Again, you were throwing out the comment earlier. Simpsons did it. Is it? You try to make a sci-fi film. It's like, are you?
I think there's 100%. Think of the conversation that me, you, and John had last night about my idea for an alien horror film.
Yeah.
Right? Taking it in a full new complete direction. I'm just some random piece of shit on the street who doesn't have money to make a movie. It doesn't have the patience or talent to actually write out the script for it. Like, but my idea for it is there, and it's something that would be new, and it would be something that, yeah, sure, there's been fucking alien movies before, but like, this is a total new twist and concept on something, looking at something from a different perspective. It's not even really artsy. It's just kind of flipping the roles of how you view a movie and how your audience feels something. That's, as a director, you should want to do that, even if you're rebooting or whatever you're doing. Because let's look at, I guess, for example, to kind of get sidetracked from where I was going there. There was a remake that I actually did enjoy pretty recently. It was Dredd, the Judge Dredd reboot.
Did you ever see that, Dave?
It was pretty hardcore. To be totally honest.
It got decent reviews. I didn't see it.
It felt like the Raid Redemption 80s action movie. Like,
Okay.
and it was pretty fucking cool. It was interesting. It was a cool movie. It was a cool new take on the character, but they didn't just remake the movie. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, yeah, we're just doing a new thing with it. Like,
They took the characters, let's make a new story with these people.
Cool, let's take this property and write a new movie with it. That kind of rebooting, I'm totally okay with. But
I mean,
like,
how many different
everything is an
Spider-Mans
origin
have we?
story? Everything's an origin story. We're gonna reboot RoboCop. Well, how'd he become RoboCop? Let's change the story around. No, he just fucking RoboCop exists and put him in another one. Like, if you just want to call it RoboCop for namesake, then call it that. But like,
Look at Spider-Man.
oh my god, that's
Right.
here. Actually, let me pull up this fucking shit list and read you a couple more. How many times have we gotten a Friday the 13th movie, guys?
A lot.
It's already been remade. Nightmare on Elm Street already been remade. There is a Friday the 13th and a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot origin story in the making for both of those.
They
films.
just did that with
They
Friday the 13th
just
with a
did
dude
it,
from
and they're
Watchmen.
doing it again.
Cool. Whatever.
Death Wish was one that we discussed earlier with Bruce Willis instead of.
I think Charles Bronson should come back and kill Bruce Willis.
Is Charles Bronson still alive?
I don't know, but
They're redoing. Now, I wouldn't even call this a remake so much as like a revisiting to the film franchise of Dungeons and Dragons. They're making another one. That could be interesting, honestly. Escape from New York. There's another John Carpenter movie that they're going for to do it again. Explorers. Did you ever watch that from the 80s?
no.
It was very Goonies feel. They build like a spaceship out of trash can and some shit. Anyway, Flight of the Navigator is another one of those children's like sci-fi movies that they're going back towards. They're redoing Flash Gordon. They're making another Green Lantern and another Green Hornet. Didn't we just get those?
Yeah, it was that Oscar-nominated film with Seth Rogen.
Right.
They're redoing The Grudge. They're redoing Hellraiser. Redoing Highlander. Redoing Jacob's
No,
Ladder.
hold on a second.
Redoing Jumanji.
No, fuck you. They cannot redo Highlander.
Redoing Logan's Run, redoing Mortal Kombat, redoing Men in Black.
It's all terrific
Why?
news.
Why? Why would you remake Men in Black?
I already answered that question. It's money.
Yeah, I know, but
We can sit here and
okay,
be-
okay.
So
let's
that's kind
think-
of our thesis for this
guess,
section
yeah.
of
We're gonna
the
come
podcast.
money. Like that's
is,
the only.
is we've talked about how that it's a problem that we're seeing a huge lacking of original ideas or quote unquote originals, whatever you want to call an original movie. But we're seeing a huge lacking of it, and that's part of the problem. Is that originals are a big risk because production studios, they only want to invest in what's going to be profitable.
Well, what if they don't like it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, people are they're so concerned about what kind of money it's going to make.
It's the reason why it's called the movie industry. It is an
Right.
industry.
Right.
You got to have a product. You got to make money.
I mean, and
Factory.
yeah, and I mean, we're not trying to go super negative with this because we could shit all over this.
No,
if we
there
wanted
are
to,
good
but-
reboots and remakes. There
Yeah.
are good ones.
Yeah, and that's also part of our thesis is that we're not trying to shit on reboots and remakes entirely because
We're just as guilty as everybody else going and
right,
seeing that garbage.
Right.
So
Yeah, we've seen them all, and and we're not saying that they're all garbage because obviously they're not all garbage. Some have been really good, but one thing I wanted to pull back, going back to kind of listing out some movies. I wrote down a couple of contemporary originals that I really like.
okay.
And I was going to tell you guys and see what you guys have come up with, see what kind of contemporary originals that you guys have been fans of. One of my favorites is Inception.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, hands
cool
down, one of the best movies that's come out in the last decade.
I liked it.
Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a mind fuck.
Yeah.
Drive. Did you guys see Drive? Has Ryan Gosling.
I'm aware of it. I never saw the film.
Yeah.
It was directed by I am going to butcher this guy's name.
Do it.
Nicholas Winning Refn, I think.
Nicholas. That's his name.
Yeah, please don't rake me over the coals if I said his name
Somebody
completely
please
wrong.
get some coals and make a gift of
It's
you. Right
Kill
there.
him.
It
It's
over.
one of his better movies. Basically, it has Ryan Gosling, and he is a getaway driver, basically a gun for hire, quote unquote. But no, it's very good. And then pretty much any Tarantino film.
There's a guy that makes some movies.
It's because he writes them like stage plays.
Oh yeah, beautiful dialogue.
Yeah.
And that's it. We touched a little bit on what could be classified as an original or not. And that's the thing with Tarantino. Everyone kind of knows that he definitely pulls the ideas for his movies from
Other movies.
yeah, other source material out there. But then again, you look at what else is out there. I mean, it's definitely more original than most of the stuff
Well, for instance, he goes and makes a Western, his latest one.
right.
But that movie was fucking awesome.
Right.
And it's, is it in a genre that everyone's familiar with? Sure. But
That movie's got like 4 sets too.
Oh,
it was awesome.
his that is a person that won't. It's not like he's going to make a sequel to any of his movies. He's not going to make Pulp Fiction 2,
Right.
or anything like that. He starts from scratch, makes something different every single time, and it's
Actually, there was one more movie on this list I
and-
forgot to mention. It's Pulp Fiction 2.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing. Being made by Uable.
Oh, that's
But I'll can I speak on Tarantino for a minute?
Yes, please.
Yeah, he that is
He's an interesting cat.
to kind of go back on the point I was making earlier about how the explodey movies make money, which they do. Everyone's gonna go see a Tarantino movie. I mean, his films they do well, and everyone since
Again, though, like I said earlier, Miramax is dead, dude. That's where Tarantino came from. That's where Kevin Smith came from. Okay, that was a film studio where
Disney owned it. They closed it.
You had people who were willing to take a chance on somebody. And now you have these new directors and stuff. People don't go to the Sundance Film Festival anymore and go or I shouldn't say people. I should say, like, you know, Hollywood movie producers don't walk into the Sundance movie festival and sit down and pick out, you know, a movie that nobody's sitting in, right? And go and watch it. And be like, oh my God, this guy's a visionary. Oh my God, this guy is new. He's fresh.
Give him a chance.
He's got this. And call him up the next day and be like, hey, I saw your movie. Do you know who I am? Holy shit, it's that guy. And then launch a career for that person and, you know, see what they spawn. See what they fucking make. Put their work out in the open for the public to view. A lot of times, movies that could have spawned directors that could have become something more end up dying in those places more often than not anymore. And like I said, that's where Tarantino and Kevin Smith came from. They were Miramax pickups that they were just like,
Right.
So that being said, with Tarantino, what you just
He was
touched on,
original idea.
what you just touched on was Tarantino existed during a time where guys like that were the directors that came out of, you know, paying their dues and doing cool shit came out of and made their mark, and you heard a director's name and you went and saw that movie. You went and saw a Spielberg film. You went and saw a Scorsese film. You went and saw a Tarantino. You even went and saw, there was a time where George Lucas, I mean, I know, you know, we kind of tease about Lucas now because of the Star Wars prequels, but like during the 80s, you went and saw Indiana Jones. I mean, he could have made anything, and you went and saw that shit. Now, all of these guys, let me go for a minute on this. All of these guys came from a time, like I was talking about, where back then the cool thing to do in Hollywood was to be a go-getter, was to go and do cool shit. And the people that started that kind of movement, because this type of history has repeated itself before. During the 70s, when I'm going back to The Godfather again. Godfather comes out as a book and it blew the fuck up, and it was this huge big seller as far as a novel, right? So Hollywood comes in, and they were real big into at that point into quick cash-in films. They would try to go low budget, make a quick movie, boom. Mob movies were kind of, hey, see, and they would make those films, guns, shoot them up, and oh, that's cool, and they'd make their money. That's what The Godfather was supposed to be. Paramount didn't give fucking Coppola shit, and Coppola was this young, and that's why they fucking picked him. That he was this young upstart director guy, and that's why he got that job. George Lucas, Francis Ford Coppola, good buddies back in the day. George Lucas making Star Wars, 20th Century Fox didn't give him dick for a budget.
Dude,
okay?
nobody cared about
They
it.
didn't give a shit. The actors thought it was going to be garbage.
That's why he had the merchandising rights to
And they
it.
let him keep all that shit, and obviously did what it did. So when Star Wars happened, and then The Godfather happened, and they were more or less indie films that blew the absolute fuck up and became unbelievably financially successful. The movie industry at that point was like, let's find these directors. Let's find these upstart kick-ass dudes that are making weird shit. So it was cool back then. So then eventually you do get another going around of a Tarantino and guys like that during that time. But now, flash forward to where we're at now, again, that scenario that I spelled out for you where exploding movies and reboots are making money. Look at a guy like Rian Johnson, okay? Rian Johnson directed Looper, which is and I don't remember, I mean, gosh, I couldn't even tell you if that was a adaptation or if it was an original, sounds original sci-fi film.
It was Hayden Christensen.
I think, no, that was Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
bad.
that time travel shooting movie? I think it was an original film.
I think it was too.
So he makes that movie, but instead of continuing to, now granted, I'd take the job too. Instead of continuing to I'm going to make another cool little indie film and make something weird, what does he do? Hey, here's Star Wars Episode 8. You want to make that shit? Oh, you're goddamn right I do, because I'm getting paid. Like, Tarantino is never going to direct a
Are you calling him a sellout, though?
Star Wars film.
Are you calling these directors sellouts?
Absolutely not. But they got to make the money.
Right.
So that era, I'd be very surprised if we see another era of upstart director type people where a name sells a movie. We only think about all the names we just mentioned. They're not from today's world.
that was the
Scorsese's
point I
not
wanted-
from now. Spielberg's not from now. Lucas is not from now. None of those people We're born and bred now. There's no one like that right now that is selling a movie.
There was a point I wanted to bring up. I want you to think back of movies in the past 10 years, okay? Think of directors' names that come to your head immediately. And I want you to tell me how many of those directors direct movies that you think are actually good movies or you associate with smut and garbage and splody films. You're like, oh, fuck. Oh, God. All I can think of is fucking Transformers. You know what I mean? Like you can't... There are still good directors out there. There are still awesome fucking directors out there. A lot of times they get kind of washed in the mix.
But they're, again, unless that is why we have what is called, that's why hipsters exist. Movie hipsters exist because these are the types, and we kind of go back and forth between, like, we enjoy our good splody films, but I like to see a movie that's obviously gonna, you know, impact me or tell a good story or something like that. That's different and new. Right. So the directors that we are aware of nowadays that are actually out there and doing stuff are the ones that are getting paid by these. They're the ones doing the big splody films. So the environment right now in Hollywood, in the movie industry, is to not be young and upstart and create something cool and different. It's to direct the next Spider-Man film. It's direct the next Star Wars film. That is what the mark.
You get a good enough director though, and you can get something good out of it. There are good things within.
I'm not saying it's not good.
You know what I fucking miss? I miss goddamn canon films. I miss
Charles Bronson.
Shitty fucking action movies that were borderline exploitation, that were just shelled out like motherfucking, I don't know. Like they were just, what is that? It's a movie idea? Yeah, hold on. I'm signing off on all these other movies we're making. Okay, cool. What are they about? I don't fucking know. Fuck it. Make them. And you get all of these movies. And it's not
Charles Bronson drives a car. Charles Bronson shoots bad guy.
They're bullshit.
Charles Bronson fucks your wife.
They're bullshit. They're bullshit that know that they're bullshit, that have directors that are like, this is bullshit. And then you get this fucking piece of gold shit to fucking watch and laugh at. I love stuff like that. But if you look at bad movies today, I can go back and watch Critters 4 with my sister and her husband and laugh and make 1,000 jokes with it. But if I were to watch a movie that is bad now, that wasn't supposed to be intentionally bad, half the time I'm sitting and I'm like, this isn't even funny. Like, this isn't even worth making fun of. We watched Independence Day Resurgence the other day, like as a family, and I tried to warn everybody, like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't fucking Independence Day Resurgence. And we watched it, and it's like, it was the same movie, except not as good. And it's like, do you actually like Independence Day? It's like, yeah, well, it was whatever. But it wasn't something that I felt deserved a reboot or a sequel. But they set up the film to have another one coming after it. And it's like, no, why? You just remade the movie and made it worse.
So, well, there was no Will Smith, and that's why the movie tanked. Okay, and I wanted to see Bill Pullman get into a fighter jet, and that didn't happen. So now I'm just pissed off at that film.
He tried to do another captivating speech for a bunch of people.
He flew into the fucking mothership and blew it up. He did that whole thing again.
But he did what the drunk dad did.
Yeah,
in the first
exactly.
I'm a combat pilot.
Guess what? He's crazy. He's crazy in the movie. He's crazy. I can't think right. Like that's his whole fucking character.
The reemergence of Bill Pullman. No one has seen him since the original Independence
Everybody
Day.
still calls him Mr. President.
Oh my God.
They're coming back.
So hey, was there another direction that you wanted to take us in now? Because I really like this comment that this person...
What movie did we all go see together in theaters? Matt was there too.
Evil Dead.
I love that fucking remake. I'm sorry. I loved it.
No, it was good. It was very good.
So fucking over the top, gory.
Oh, it was great.
Hey, pretty boy.
yeah.
Come over here.
Your grandma sucks cocks in hell.
Yeah, like The Exorcist. Anyway, we have grown up in hold on. We have at least aged in the time period that I've been discussing about how our stuff that's available to us that's shoved into our faces is reboots, remakes, sequels. That's what we get.
Here's the ultimate question for you though on that.
Okay.
Are we all just biased fucking pieces of shit
No,
for
of course
what we
are.
grew up with?
Of course we are. But what I'm getting at is that you asked me what are my favorite contemporary original films, and I'm sitting here like an asshole trying to think, like, I gotta fucking think of an answer for Dave, or else this whole thing's gonna suck. And I can't give you.
No,
I can honestly can't give you a nice extensive list, because honestly, you're almost better at that than me. Like my favorite original concept films, let's just say, are older. I like to.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
What I'm saying is, I'm like contemporary. Oh, yeah.
sure
I saw Birdman because my parents were watching it, and I happened to be there.
Right.
And that movie is awesome. But like, my favorite original films. I mean, you guys know I'm a total Al Pacino nerd. I love Injustice for All, Dog Day Afternoon, Scent of a Woman. I quote the shit out of that.
Have you ever seen Scent of a Woman on weed?
Scent of a Woman on what?
On weed.
No, I haven't.
Sorry.
You ever looked at the stars on weed?
Is it better than not being on weed? Hooah. Anyway,
I need a drink.
Give me a John Daniels, son.
I thought it was Jack.
Isn't it Jack Daniels?
Not when you've known him as long as I have.
There it is. He said it.
He said the line. No,
No, that's cool. I
have this long list of old good shit because I had to go back.
Here's the thing. I introduce you to fucking random ass movies all the time. There, you're like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like,
Connor, let's talk about Connor's movies interest for a second
consumption.
from a outside standpoint. So, like, you and I, David, how many phone conversations have you and I have? We're just getting into this fucking conversation about, like some movie or something and pretty hardcore. Connor's the one where it's like, hey, Connor, what was your, what do you like in there? And he's like, there's a movie that you haven't seen that I found on the Chinese internet that it's about a guy who gets possessed by Billy Mays, and he shits. He actually fights by shitting, and you wouldn't think that this movie would exist, but somehow
I found
he
it.
finds he will just bring me. It's like we used to play this game called I Just Sit Back and He Finds a Thing on Netflix, because somehow Netflix just every now and then you scroll
Has some
through
weird shit on it, yeah.
and Netflix rating system is based upon like shit that you like. So like 4 or 5 stars to you might be 2 stars to me. All of Connor's 4 to 5 star rated movies are garbage. Absolute.
Oh yeah, no.
Just the worst bullshit.
If we want to talk about media consumption and who is the worst person in this room who consumes media, it's me, 100%. And that's partially my brother-in-law's fault. For introducing me to shit like Neil Breen and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
But like I watch terrible movies.
Like he's
on
the
a
guy that
regular
has
basis.
seen the movies that Mystery Science Theater has made fun of, but he's seen it without that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh dude, all the time.
And he's like, yeah, I own a copy.
I've gone back and watched Mystery Science Theater before and been like, oh fuck, I've seen that movie. Like many times. So I actually wanted to bring up a contemporary movie that I thought was an interesting new take on a slasher film. The Boy. Did
I have
either
not
of you
seen
see
it.
it? It's not like A++, best movie ever. It is so good, everyone must see it.
What is that accent?
It's just fucking me.
No, it's not.
Dude, it's the shit that Johnny Poo Poo Pants. That thing that fucking me and Dustin do. Anyway, it takes place. You think it is a supernatural thriller the entire movie up until the very end. And spoiler alert: if you haven't seen The Boy, go see it. Stop the podcast right now. Don't listen to me any further. Go watch it and then come back and pick up here.
Thanks.
But the whole time you think that this doll is possessed. Okay. Because this lady goes to the house to house sit, and she thinks it's a child. And this older couple's like, we're going on vacation. We need you to house sit and watch our son. And the son is this doll. And throughout the movie, you're thinking that this doll is like alive and doing shit. And it continues to build up, and like he'll show up in places, he'll do things, he'll break things, like, and you'll see you never actually see him move. But it alludes to the fact that, holy shit, like
Possessed
this
demon
thing is
doll.
possessed.
It's Chucky.
It's fucking
Yeah.
Chucky, Annabelle, whatever. Like you are under the assumption that it is this the entire time, and the movie flips. The son is very much alive and in the house and lives within the walls and watches.
So he's not the
her.
doll. He uses the doll.
He uses the doll and watches her through like cracks in the wall and holes and shit and stuff like that. And it gets
That's fucking awesome.
It's fucked up. It's really, really fucked
Is
up.
this an American-made movie?
Yes, absolutely.
It's called The Boy.
It's called The Boy.
When did it come out?
A couple of years ago, I think. I think it was a 2015 film.
Do you know if it's on Netflix?
I don't think it's on Netflix.
I want to watch the shit out of
I
that.
want to
It's
right now.
It's fucking sick. And
Even though you spoiled it for me.
the end of the fucking movie is she fucking gets in a battle with him, and he's a fucking serial killer. And finds like bodies and shit in the walls, and she's like trying to escape by using his tunnels in the house, and he has like this whole house inside the house that he lives in and does all this crazy shit with.
What did you think of the Babadook?
I liked the Babadook.
I really liked it.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
I liked the theming behind it. Definitely.
Oh my! That like I watched it just on my computer and at night, and that just scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
But like what I liked about it was I mean, I liked several things about it, but it didn't necessarily flip the script on what a horror movie is, but it pulled from a lot of different elements of what makes a good horror movie.
Well, it
like
flipped the script on what makes the horrific thing horrific.
Right.
He's not a monster.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
woman.
There is no monster at all. It's just basically.
emotion.
Yeah. It's just her emotion.
That book is the creepiest part of the fucking movie.
Oh God.
But I gotta be
Like
honest
I
with you.
chills right now.
That movie, I think it's an excellent horror film. Wasn't scary to me at all. I didn't find it frightening at all.
Well, I mean I don't necessarily scare easy. But I'm not a big horror movie. I don't want to say I'm not a horror movie fan, because I do like a good horror movie.
Yeah.
But it's not my favorite genre.
Right. It's mine.
Yeah. I mean,
Very clearly.
Yeah.
Sci-fi and horror. Yeah.
But I do really enjoy like that. Another great original movie was The Witch.
The Witch
fucking
was excellent.
Fantastic.
Again, a movie that did not scare me that I think is an amazing film.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't really scary.
It's uncomfortable. That's a better word for it.
No, that was like one of the more memorable. I want to say quotes or someone that
It
reviewed
feels like
the movie.
something you shouldn't be watching.
Right. Yeah. Like I saw that and then I watched the movie and I was like, it really is like it feels like.
You shouldn't be watching this shit. Like,
Right.
This is fucked.
It's super weird. I mean,
It's so sad to me in that movie that the leading lady delivers the weakest performance out of anybody in the movie. That was my only complaint.
I didn't think it was too bad. I mean, up to the point where spoilers. Stab her mom. Is that what happened? She ended up like taking her mom's knife or something.
Yeah, and she doesn't cry.
Yeah. That was like when the first,
broke the
because
wall.
I had to watch it twice. I watched it once. It was stupid because like 2 days later I was like on Amazon Prime and they were streaming it for free. So I rewatched it with the subtitles. And also, if you haven't seen The Witch and you now want to go watch it, I do think it's still available on Amazon Prime.
It's on Hulu right now, I believe.
Yes, it is. And also turn the subtitles on. Do yourself a
Please.
favor,
Yes.
because
Old English is hard to follow.
It is fucking difficult. But anyways, yeah.
I have done shitteth in the woods where the bees will fertile my poop. What? No,
yeah.
he's saying he likes grilled cheese sandwiches. Just it's fine.
But yeah, like I didn't really think her performance, except for that last scene, which I mean I can understand why. I mean that was really supposed to drive.
She felt
drive
kinda
it
hollow.
home. Yeah. I mean I will say that her performance is the weakest performance out of the whole movie. which is a shame considering she's the main character.
Yeah,
However,
but she still does a pretty decent job.
However, it's still a pretty good job because overall it's a fantastic movie.
Here's a movie everybody can watch right now. I believe it's still on Netflix. It's called Starry Eyes. It is a pretty damn good horror movie.
Yeah.
It's about a girl who goes to a talent agency and she wants to get signed. And I don't want to spoil it for you because I've already spoiled a couple movies in this podcast. But
sounds a lot like
basically the devil is involved and some crazy shit happens, and she eventually gets the job.
It sounds a lot like. Did you guys see Neon Demon?
I haven't seen it yet.
That's another Nicholas Winding Refn. Again, I butchered his name. He directed Drive. It's like the first half of the movie is like drama. The second half is like straight up slasher horror. You would dig it, Connor. Andrew, you'd probably like it too.
What's it called?
Neon Demon.
Neon Demon.
Yeah, it's on. It should still be on Amazon
What's that
Prime.
Chinese movie we watched, Andrew?
With the
vampires.
Oh, shit.
What is it called? Oh, son of a bitch.
I don't remember. But
that movie is sick.
It's awesome.
That movie's awesome. Want to talk about a very new take on vampires and
they don't
monster
fucking
horror
sparkle. Anyway,
and
sorry.
body horror and all that shit. I mean, dude is literally smoking human fetus ashes in order to get his fucking like magic powers to resurrect this fucking. And it sounds crazy, but like as you watch it, I mean, it's deeply unsettling.
Yeah, that movie's good. I couldn't even. I'm like trying to think. We watched that. It was like late at night. Like I don't remember what the hell it was.
A dude with the high glutinous rice, and he takes a swig of the alcohol and he like drinks it, and then he takes another swig and spits it in the pan, and the pan catches on fire, and he starts.
Oh my god!
There's some really memorable scenes in that movie.
So guys, let's go ahead and start wrapping this up. Is there anything else that you'd like to add to kind of bring this full circle? Any additional comments on originals in cinema, or
I don't think we got too off topic for the first podcast, and I mean, I think we were a little slow here, and everybody that's stuck with us to this point,
Thank you.
Thank
grazie,
you.
namaste,
thank you,
thank you very much.
If you find me on the street and say that you listen to my podcast,
Punch him in the tit.
If you listen to it till the very end, I will buy you an ice cream.
Just smack him right underneath the nipple and go bean dip.
You wanna throw a few shameless plugs in there, Dave, as far as where to find and follow, and let's try to beef up the social media.
Absolutely.
But Andrew, what's that?
Dave's gonna tell us.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So as of the recording, we do not yet have a website, but it is in the works. So we will have a website where it will have information about us, about the show. It will have all the episodes, so you can stream them from the website. If you'd rather do that as opposed to downloading them on your phone, your computer, or whatever, you will be able to find them on iTunes, more than likely Stitcher and Google Play. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Geek Garage Podcast.
Oh yeah.
And then on Twitter, there's actually, I don't want to plug another someone else, but Geek Garage was taken, so ours is at Geek Garage Pod, POD. We're also on Instagram, same name, Geek Garage Podcast. So yeah, and guys, you want to plug your Twitter handles?
Of course. Again, fun first episode. I mean, that was talk about movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
All three of us are involved in our other thing, 2Player Media. So facebook.com/2Player Media, and Twitter at 2Player Media, and of course subscribe to the YouTube channel 2Player Media, where you will see game streams and fun skit things
once in a while
whenever we get we'll get better at that.
We're all very busy.
But the cool thing is honestly, this is a cool way to bust out some fun stuff.
Podcasts
I'm digging
are
this.
fun.
So,
your name is.
Oh well, my name is Andrew Nolenberg, and if you need a sexy sounding voice to talk on things that you give me money for.
Andrew is a fantastic voice actor.
I am totally here for you.
We're probably gonna end
Tell
up
him your
using
fucking
him.
Twitter handle.
My Twitter handle is at Don Noleone, DONKNOLLEONE.
It's funny because it kind of
it's
sounds
a-
like
Don Corleone. Yeah, I'm totally.
Cannoli?
I'm.
Cannoli.
It's so many jokes in one because I am a walking, living joke. My life is nothing.
You're doing great, man. I'm so
At
proud
any
of
rate,
you.
no.
Make sure to drive that home.
Just if we will try to live stream this podcast as often as we can, and probably in the future. I mean, we had a lot of actually like this whole time I've been tracking. Like we had a lot of wonderful comments and suggestions like the entire time we were going. So honestly, we'll get better in the future at maybe a little bit of interaction with anyone that's listening. Listening/watching in the future.
Something where we set it up.
Bring up some good points. Thanks for sticking with us with kind of the working the kinks out of
we
episode.
greatly appreciate.
Oh
it.
my goodness! But honestly, once we got rolling, it was quite a roll.
Yes.
So yes.
Connor, where can we find you on the internet?
Well, you can find me at The Condroid on Twitter or on Facebook or all the same two-player media stuff. Or if you really, really, really want to find me, search the
really.
That one sounded deeply sexual.
darkest parts of your soul.
Pornhub.com
Pornhub.com
Connor Miller.
Tom Johnson. You want to see the fattest dick you ever saw?
On that note,
Big Tom Johnson.
we're gonna fucking sign off this bitch. Y'all have a fantastic evening.
Thank you.